pulled it back with fantastic execution, but they could not close out the game.
Absolutely. So I think the choice of the battleground is going to be crucial to determine how this game is going to go. And we're diving in right into the Dragon Shire, a very conservative map. It's far from being as wonky as a Blackheart's Bay can be. What do we have to pay attention to here?
So I think, again, Probius is very good on this map. It's also one of Junkrat's better maps because of the wave clear that he brings and because of the insane throw potential that he brings on the ganks. Now, there's a hero that's very strong in Hero League, so this might be right up Germany and Hungary's alley, actually. It's Garrosh.
Yeah, very true. Garrosh and Junkrat both viable because of the relatively short length of the lane, so allowing you to get those very effective ganks if you are quick enough.
Absolutely. The distance between the lanes, but also the distance of the lane itself is going to be very crucial when it comes to determining a playstyle. The Garrosh, the Stitches, those are all good heroes that can really go for a strong early game. So, where we're going to see here, the Genji being potentially hovered over.
A solid first ban.
Yeah.
Genji's really strong in this map because he has so much pressure on the mid lane, on the top lane, and also on the bot lane. And the lanes are all of Dragon Shire's basically...
Everything.
Yeah, basically all of its depth in the early game is about who wins the top lane, who wins the bot lane, and who wins the mid so they can make the other lanes win.
A lot of the time, you will actually see mid lane get abandoned to try and gain an advantage in one of the other two, just to get that shrine control.
How important would you rate globals on this battleground? I mean, globals are a pretty strong component in Heroes of the Storm in general, but on Dragon Shire, I feel they're particularly powerful.
All the way back to Alpha, where Falstad was basically the go-to pick on this map for that global potential. Globals have been good here purely for grabbing that cheeky shrine, or if you have control of both shrines, a quick rotation to mid lane to try and steal a Dragon Knight.
Yeah. So Dehaka could be a choice. Falstad, as you said. The right wing continues to be a very highly contested hero to begin with in those Nexus Games Europe. So we're going to find out what the teams will settle on. Germany, though, do they have another surprise ready for us, or are they going to try to fall back onto a more standard approach? Because so far, also in their first series against Belgium, I think it was, whenever they started to get crazy, that's when they started winning.
True, but and that last game was pretty crazy. They were
both teams
able to win with it. Yeah,
it's crazy from the get-go for sure. I think the key for Germany here is going to be, as long as they get a solid lane setup and do not get hideously out-rotated, they have a good shot at staying in the game and making it a bit crazy going past level 10.
So TAS is in the opener, and we already know how scary that Germany Tassadar Tracer combo is.
Yeah.
And with it neither of the tools in it banned, Hungary either have to just kind of let it go or take it for themselves.
Now, this is the position, the Tassadar first pick with Tracer still up, that KSV Black, the best team in the world, would absolutely love to be in. They would almost instantly lock their Medic Tracer.
Yep. Let's see if Germany are going to pull a similar trick here. The Tracer I definitely agree with. The question is whether they are comfortable with that Medic.
Yeah, the Lieutenant Morales is, of course... You wanted to say something?
I was talking about Hungary locking Medic Tracer.
Oh, I see.
But they actually went for the classic, the old faithfuls, Veigar Greymane, as we've seen quite a lot in this tournament.
Yeah. It's actually hard to believe that heroes like Dehaka, heroes like Falstad are still just ready for the grabs.
ETC is still open here, and he's not been in the first rotation for the first time in a very long time. I mean, ETC Tracer here would just be very nice in general for Team Germany.
It seems like a very strong setup. I'm not sure Hungary actually have the tools to deal with a Tassadar Tracer right now.
Yeah, there we go. There it is. ETC Tracer Tassadar, very much a duplicate of the last draft so far by Team Germany.
And we're going to have to highlight Born's ETC there as well. I think he really made a lot of the difference in that last game. I mean, it takes a lot of skill to know when it's right to go in, but it also takes a lot of game sense to know, hey, I've got my Death March ready, focus me, get me in, and my team is going to take care of the rest.
Exactly. So, Team Hungary for the ban. Would this be a support or another damage dealer, or potentially another tank?
It's a tough one. It really could be anything. They do opt for the Uther. Now, the thing about the Uther is it's one of the only supports that has cleanse and can be a main healer. Brightwing has a lot of weaknesses with targeted healing and healing long distances. Uther, he has cleanse, he can do all of those things, and he has divine shield. So the Tracer is much more vulnerable with that Uther gun.
Here we go, and while we're waiting for the second ban to go down, a friendly reminder to cheer for your favorites in this best of 3 between Germany and Hungary. If you think that the Germans are going to continue the trend and if they're going to continue to carry the momentum, type in hashtag DEWin. If you think Hungary is going to play as well as they did yesterday, and if they can tie it out, then type in hashtag HUWin, HUWin.
Right now, Hungary do have a bit of an advantage, but we will keep an eye on that as it goes. Currently 59 to 41. Hungarian fans very hungry for a Hungary win here.
Yeah.
Not even going to react. The Brightwing get banned out here by Team Germany, even though they could use... Oh,
I'm loving it.
It's back.
And I'm loving it. That's exactly what Hungary used on day number 1 to really surprise and catch a lot of people off guard. And this time, they're the ones who are forcing something out of Germany. They have to react right now. And truth be told, so far, there's not a whole lot of true percentage damage in which you need against the Chagall.
Yeah, so we'll probably need to see possibly Calzim as the support, because a lot of the other stuff is off the table anyway. Medic, as we saw when, I think it was Denmark picked it, was completely vulnerable.
Yeah.
At the same time, you could pick a Tychus, but you are really missing out on a top laner at that point.
Yeah, we also saw how well the Tychus did against Hungary's Cho'Gall earlier as well. It can be bullied if it does not have that heavy frontline to protect it, and if not, the frontline can be dived past by Cho.
A thing that speaks for Tychus, though, in a way, is that he's oftentimes a strong bully against melee solo laners, like a Greyman, for example, because range heroes in general shouldn't be underestimated when it comes to holding those lanes. But you're right, Bakery, it would be quite the risk or quite the gamble to take, especially for the team fights later on with so many squishies in the backline against the Cho'Gall.
So the percentage damage is Tassadar and Tracer Heroic, and the Ana once
The
again.
Ana again,
how well it worked.
Cho'Gall.
But yeah, the percentage damage is very lacking. If
Only
Tassadar
Tracer,
doesn't go, Tassadar has the build, but the last time he had the chance, he didn't go for it. So we will have to see this time.
Tracer's level 10. It's pretty much all they've got.
Yeah, it looks like it. And I mean, there's plenty of tools against that. Preemptive Ancestral.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ana can give a healing boost to the Ancestral.
Molten Block at later levels.
Once you hit that 16, absolutely. So it's very hard to bet against the Hungry Cho'Gall after seeing it in action 2 days ago.
Hungry Cho'Gall. I mean, I'm going to join you guys on that one. I think Hungary read this draft perfectly. Were they the ones choosing the back of the ground, by the way? Or was it Germany?
Who picked first? First pick was Tassadar, so Hungary, picked the ground.
So they've had this battle plan laid out in front of them from the very get-go. They realized we can't go for a wonky map again. We're going to pick something that could be good for a Chagall.
You mentioned reading the battleground. I think they wrote the battleground.
Yeah,
they were the ones writing the book here. They controlled that draft from the start, made no showings that this is what they wanted to do. They didn't ban out Malthael or any of the usual things. They picked Greymane. Cursed Bullet is one of the counters, but it's not a surprise. Picking Greymane, you don't think, oh, they're going Cho'Gall.
Greymane's a standard hero, as is Veigar.
Yeah. It's really cool to see how they masked, how they disguised their draft without giving away too much information earlier by going for the standard Veigar. Greymane, as you said, and then lock in the secret weapon. Very quickly, who's your favorite for this for the second game?
It's Hungry.
Hungry.
Yeah, I'm going to join you guys. As much as I would love my countrymen to take the second game, I think Hungary's going to take it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's join the Dragonshire with those two teams. And Tetra's once again going to go over the German team.
Spawning on the left-hand side, it is going to be Team Germany with Minx, Born, Nunia, Ribby, and Brain.
And on the opposing side, we see a Hungry team featuring that Cho'Gall here, surprising a lot of us. And once again, I think it's going to be Carsey and who's the other one?
That would be Dobos.
There we go. Carsey and Dobos. We have Fana on that Rhaegar as well. And last but not least, we're going to have Nuti and Hydra on the Greymane and the Ana, respectively.
So, the Ana was spectacular.
It was so good.
It was the Cho'Gall in the bot lane with Ana that time. Ana's already down in the bot lane, and Cho'Gall already rotating. Looks like we're going to see something very similar. Although Cho currently holding his level 1. I don't think that's the same one we saw yesterday. I will double check.
Yeah, in the meantime, we can also go over Nunia on the Tracer once again. Sticking true to the motto of Tracer rounds, and can't really blame him for that. I mean, there's a lot of hidden corners and angles on Dragonshire. We can really just continue hunting someone down if you have the vision actively on them. So
So I think yesterday he went for Consuming Flame. This one is Fuel for the Flame, which is a questing talent. And
Gotcha.
I take some damage. Basically, he can increase his healing every time a minion that is currently is affected by a Consuming Blaze dies.
Yep, there we go. So pretty cool stuff coming in here as well. And another change that we're probably going to see a lot here on this battleground, because the last time we saw the Cho'Gall on Tomb of the Spider Queen, I believe. And this time it's on Dragonshire. So on Dragonshire, normally you can't stay still in lane too much because you're forced to rotate, especially when the shrines are open.
Yeah, I think it was on this map actually, because I remember Cho'Gall diving onto the point a lot. We're going to have to Tigers Morale.
Yeah, we're going to have to double check
came out a lot. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on this map. We may have seen 2 Cho'Galls and we're just forgetting.
Yeah. No, I'm pretty sure it was only Hungary that were this brave to really lock it in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was this map. Hydra is forced back a little bit though. Forced to retreat.
Yeah, very nicely done so far. Brain and Nunia are trying to dominate the top lane at least. I mean, bottom is pretty much sealed here. The walls are already destroyed. The towers have taken heavy damage. And there's just no way Nuti on the Ana can be touched by anyone if the position and the vision is so well executed. I mean, look at that. Cho'Gall can actually use the superior range of his abilities, or of their abilities, excuse me, to really damage the building without exposing themselves.
Cho'Gall actually managed to kill another minion there with Consuming Blaze while also healing. So this is basically anytime a minion is killed or while under the effect of Consuming Blaze or he gets a takedown. Combine that with Ana's bonus healing and Rhaegar's healing. This is very much a tanky Cho'Gall, who still has the auto-attack extra damage with Seared Flesh, which is wonderful, and the bomb talent for Garl, which is crazy.
It's basically the bread and butter talent if you want to play Cho'Gall. Without it, you're going to lack damage in the late game significantly. And the way it works is you hit enemy heroes with your Runic Blast, and the more you catch over the course of the game, the more damage you're going to be able to deal. And after hitting 20 heroes with it, you will have a lower cooldown on it as well.
Exactly, which is terrifying in the late game. We saw how well Hungary were able to use it. For now, we do see them focusing on Toborn, but not able to finish him off.
In the meantime, we see Tracer going a little bit deeper, chasing down Fauna on that Rhaegar, but little did she know that Cho'Gall has arrived. But Tracer is very elusive. It would surprise me if she actually fell victim to that.
Yeah, you did see Nudia's health bar though just drop, and that was that Seared Flesh talent from Cho. Every third basic attack he is able to do against someone deals 20% more damage. Each consecutive attack does 20% more to a maximum of 60.
And now we're starting to see one of the few disadvantages that Cho'Gall has. Most importantly, the Hungarian team is now lacking a body to use on the map, and that means the shrines are now in German hands on the top and the bottom lane. And slowly but surely, they're going to have enough forces in the middle to pressure Fauna on that Greymane, and without a support, Cho'Gall is easy. Pray, look at the body blocks. The German team sandwiches the big ogre.
He tanked through it, though, and they snipe the Tracer.
Nicely done.
Ukobos still tanking. Ogre Hide is active for the tankiness. He's getting that extra damage from the Seared Flesh, dropping the members low. Dragon Knight does not go over. They're still in race to deny it. And Greymane could have grabbed top lane, but decides against it.
Unfortunately, Nunia was the one target that was not supposed to die here. Without the Tracer damage, there was no way of actually killing Cho'Gall anymore, because Ana had also rotated in time, and it was quite the opposite. It was Cho'Gall who, with a last effort, really sniped the Tracer.
The last little Garl Shadow Flame to finish off the final shot.
So good. But still, both shrines in control of the German team. Now, slowly but surely, Karsi and Dobos are rotating towards it. They're capturing it, and that's always a good sign. But we cannot forget that the soaking difficulties that a Cho'Gall composition has to face early on is being reflected here by the overall XP count.
Yep, slight lead for Germany, even with the even kill count, so they have been very good.
So many towers destroyed.
You can see Hydra here is having quite an issue in terms of soaking XP.
Yeah, absolutely, and we can't really blame him too much, because for the most part, he had to face a Sonya, which already is quite the challenge, and she was oftentimes reinforced by a Tassadar or by a Malfurion, who have done nothing but rotate and reinforce top lane.
Hydra back in the human form. He can poke the Sonya from range there if he does wish to, and now he has the help of Fana. But once again, that means mid lane is unattended. They're missing XP.
Yeah, they're missing a lot of XP, and level 10 is now going to be here. And maybe with that heroic ability advantage, they will have enough manpower, enough hitting power to enforce the first Dragon Knight. Bottom lane is now back under control. Can they do it? The Hungarian team is very close to their own heroic abilities, though.
Yes, they are, as we see Power Surge coming in for Cho, that cooldown reduction on his charge, which, combined with the attack speed increase later on, is the bread and butter of the Cho build, whereas the Gar build, like we said, is very bomb-focused.
Do a barrel roll around the force wall.
Just sidestep that as the first part of the game goes down, with, once again, the heavy German aggression coming in here.
Yeah, absolutely true. Map control actually in the hands of the German team altogether. Now, level 10 is here, though. We do have the Hammer of Twilight once again, and we do once again have the Twisting Nether. Against so many squishy backliners, like we said during the draft, I would have maybe expected an upheaval.
I like upheaval if it wasn't for the words mosh pit being in the back of your mind the entire time.
Fair point.
Just you think about that, you hover over it with your mouse, and then you think about all those funny and random moment videos where Chogars have killed their entire team by pulling in a mosh pit, and you decide against it and go for the Hammer of Twilight.
Very true, very true. Let's also not forget that the Hammer of Twilight, of course, adds a significant amount of extra single target damage, especially against squishies like Tracer. When Tasser doesn't have the shield ready, that could make all the difference.
This is the idea of the build. Cho does all that auto attack damage, does loads of that auto attack damage with the Seared Flesh and the extra attack speed. Hammer of Twilight simply helps this out a little bit more.
Yeah, the game has entered a relatively quiet phase in which none of the teams really gets a kill, but both teams are trying to play the objective, trying to play the PvE game. Mercenaries were taken in the bottom lane, and once again, no towers left here in favor of the Hungarian team.
Yeah, and we are seeing here Nuti just staying very far back. He's playing safe as he should be in this kind of game because he doesn't want to get caught out. His job is to keep his team alive and to continuously drop those healing grenades. And if he can stack the Sleeping Dart, I would like to see those stacks at some point.
Yeah, exactly. Last game we saw in Anna, we were kind of disappointed of how long it took the player to stack it up. And it really cripples the healing output. If you don't get the double sleep, if you don't get the double healing, you're gonna notice that.
Sonya trying to go for it this time. Hukobos tries to move in, and it will get denied thanks to Anna in the bot lane.
Now, Nuti needs to be careful. Anna is probably going to be the prime target for a Tracer, just like in Overwatch. There's not a whole lot Mommy can do to keep herself when a feisty little Tracer is circling and dancing around her.
Gobos continuing to hold the line, but once again, XP is slowly creeping ahead for Germany. A full level lead, thanks to that extra body and so much audacity here. And they can afford to be audacious here, with Brain taking the enemy bruiser count.
To be honest, with the Cho'Gall in the mix, I think the German team could even try to go for a push over the...
Brain?
Oh, yeah, okay.
There we go. We're just going to complete this for you, leave it for you to get.
Hydra?
The Hydra lives!
It lives for now, but forcing him back to teleport is almost as good as killing him because they're going to have a couple of seconds to really tear down the tower line in the top lane. And that was, as I was trying to say earlier, with the Cho'Gall in the mix, there's one body less to defend with. And while Cho'Gall is busy with Ana in the bottom lane, they can go over the bridge, which is normally not a location you want to push in through.
So Nano Boost was used. Doesn't get a huge amount of value, but it does allow
they're going to lose a keep in top.
A little. And like it said, that keeps kind of dying. Hukobos being
and if they teleport back, it's
Nuti having to run. And yeah, the oh my god, Hukobos is actually going to get his port denied too. Looks like they will force the retreat, but the minions are doing a lot of damage here. Dragon Knight's now available, and we're going to see Tracer run her way over to it.
Yeah, she doesn't even need to be a global hero at this point. Once again, the lack of bodies on the battlefield is hurting Hungary, but the Twilight is there!
And the mosh pit, they're focusing him down. That Malfurion damage, trying desperately to hold together. Cho'Gall still alive.
Oh no!
Tracer, Dragon Knight's been taken in the background as Hukobos will survive, but the Dragon Knight punts away the Greymane and is going for the key.
So the Hungarian team, despite doing really well in that team fight, they need to go back right now because the top lane is already being threatened by Ribby, who is unleashing hell with that Dragon Knight.
Yeah, and he's the only person back here is Greymane, and when there's one person defending a Dragon Knight, what's he do? He just hits W over and over again and kicks away anyone who is in that range.
Oh man, this is not looking good for the Hungarian team. Cho'Gall looked so strong the first time they used him, but now Germany seems to have really noticed how to play around it, constantly applying map pressure. Those early game rotations were so well thought of as well, and now they're going from top to bottom, trying to go for as many structures as humanly possible.
By this point in the last game, the Dragon Knight had not been taken, and Cho'Gall was still stacking. Now he is moving forward with the Nano Boost, getting that cooldown reduction. They're able to take down Born very quickly, but they still lost the keep. They just lost in his fort. They are on the back foot.
Very true, very true. Getting kills is very good, especially if you're behind. However, you need to make sure that you do not lose more value than you could get, because the Dragon Knight, as you said, was wreaking havoc in the middle lane.
And they're now 2 levels behind Germany at this point, as Germany continue to creep further and further ahead.
Yeah, now there's only so much they can do. Cho'Gall needs to be careful. If he gets caught there by a force wall, I was going to say exactly that, then it could be lights out. Losing both ogres at the same time.
Good steal, good steal. That's good. Now we're starting to see Cho'Gall get to the point.
I mean, ETC was also still dead, but yeah, that was a good reading. That was a good read.
See, Cho'Gall, so this is the point. Even though they are behind, Cho'Gall gets very scary. The Cho, for example, he now has that extra attack speed at level 13, the Frenzied Fist. He can also get the Surging Dash later on, but right now Cho is at the base one of the highest damage outputs he can do. Whereas on the other side, we do
Look
see
at this
Gull.
shield too.
Gull is just going to start getting more and more stacks. Here comes Twisting Never, moving for Nunia, gets blown up. There's the mosh pit as Cho'Gall just gets healed up. What are you going to do? He's now nano boosted as he's going to chase down Born. Born sees so much damage, but Born is taken out. The Cho'Gall getting focused down. Anna dropping the healing, but Cho'Gall's taken out. Raid with the damage on that Sonya.
And just like that, it was a 2-for-2 trade by destroying one single hero. But that was so well played in the beginning by Team Hungary, focusing the right targets, the nano boost, doing so much work on the double ogre, and of course that Twisting Nether so strong. 3 catapults, no real match for the Greymane. Hydra doing a good job there defending it. It's hard to say who had the upper hand. I think if the fort hadn't been there, if Cho'Gall hadn't dove in that deep, the German team, there was nothing they could have done.
He had both healers with him. I don't know if they were out of mana or they just, the damage was too high.
It was definitely cooldown.
Yeah, Sonya's damage output, though, with the Poison Spear especially, was absolutely superb. Able to focus down that Cho'Gall and pick up that kill as Maybe gonna... Wow.
Okay. Nice.
Nice one there. Tastar just tanking the hits so that Brain can pick up another Dragon Knight. Cho'Gall is now back, though.
Yeah, Tracer, though, multiple times has felt the hammer of Twilight, and she will have to play a lot more carefully. If they lose Tracer early on, once again, they're going to have to cancel the push, despite the fact that there's a Dragon Knight. If your main source of damage is no more, you better wait and try another time.
Now, Joe, we actually saw there using the Surging Dash here, so that he wouldn't get punted away by the Dragon Knight, because it does now make him unstoppable, which is really nice to see, as Greymane once again goes for another trip.
So how much pressure is Team Germany going to apply in that bottom lane while the Hungarians try to get rid of that Dragon Knight? Brain takes a lot of damage. And here is the power of the Psystorm Tassadar. So much zoning with a Force Wall and so much damage with those double storms.
Cho'Gall, though, relentless in his pursuit. Just charging through the route here, thanks to, once again, that Surging Dash.
Cho'Gall knows that Team Germany doesn't have a dedicated counter to them. No Curse Bullets. There is no 7-sided strike. There's no Tychus. So as long as the supports are relatively close to him, he could just go in like there was no tomorrow.
The problem is, though, even though Cho'Gall is so scary, all Germany are doing is just avoiding team fights. They retreat and they split and they gain value elsewhere on the map.
Right, taking this mercenary camp is a pretty big deal. The top lane is naked because there was so much damage being dealt to the forehand with the Dragon Knight, and Brain, of course, doing a great job laning there. Ribby trying to go for that Mercamp. The Force Wall too late, though, locking Cho'Gall in, but the rest of the Hungarian team is already here.
Sonya activating the moment. Anna gets unsettled this time. Here comes the Twilight Dream onto members. EDC will take the cap, but the nano boosted Cho'Gall is doing a lot of damage, but it's been left alone as both supports were focused down. Here comes Greymane, focusing on EDC as they immediately try to burst him, but the face belt keeps him alive as Hugobos is dropped low. Hydra picks up the kill, though, and the focus on to Mix. Hugobos survives, but the Sonya damage picks up another one, and Hugobos will be forced to retreat as the only survivors.
Yeah, they can tell the tale of what happened and how they gave their life for a noble cause so they can defend and live another day so their teammates can stay in the game eventually. That was a crazy fight. For a short moment, it looked like Greymane next to the Cho'Gall could turn it around.
But with the lack of healing and the Sonya Spear, Sonya, who is absolutely MVP this game with her damage output, was able to turn it round and pick off the Greymane and force the Cho'Gall to retreat.
And the Death Main, the Greymane Greymane death main. The Greymane death, of course, hurts the Hungarian team quite a bit. It's still going to be 10 seconds. Both shrines just spawned. And of course, until Greymane is back in the fray, there's going to be more seconds to be gone by now. So all they can do right now is use the long-range poke by Cho'Gall, not by Rehgar, there we go, to stall this out a little bit further.
Rehgar making the use, though, of his level 1 talent, that extra totem range to allow him to gain vision and harass this if he wants to. Dropping the totem and, of course, dropping a lightning shield onto it. TaZ gaining vision, seeing Rehgar, nice and easy, and will kill off that Eye of Kilrock.
Oh, the force
good effort.
barely missing Fauna there. That's a good try.
The idea. Cho'Gall is 2v2 in the bot lane, ETC and the Malfurion down there, as we do see Rehgar rotating down here as well. Looks like they're going to try and deny it this way, pushing him into the root.
Uh-oh, Sonya's still in the middle, Tetcher.
Greymane's on the way to try and deny this, too late. And now it is really up to just killing a couple members and being back for the Dragonite. Dragonite's actually going to come down here and fight. No, change his mind. He's going to go for the core.
And in the meantime, the Hungarian team, they need to force something. The Twisted Nether only hitting, not even hitting the ETC because the knockback was there. And now they need to pay attention to the Dragonite. Top lane is already getting invaded from the Dragonite after 17 minutes. It's hitting like a dragon. ETC going for the knockdown.
They're trying to focus the Cho'Gall, but he's staying alive. The Dragonite, however, has moved through mid and onto the core. Cho'Gall right now is just trying to delay any help as his team rotates back to deal with the Dragonite. 94, 83, 78 on the core. Cho'Gall dashes back through. There's 2 keeps to go through.
Can they do it?
Rest of Germany want to join Braid here. As Braid is dropped, the Dragonite will pop with 20% left on the core. Full health Germany moves in, and that is GG.
And another win for Team Germany in a very hard-fought game here. Really, really close there in the end, but what we could really see here in this second game on Dragonshire was the fact that Cho'Gall is so immobile when it comes to rotating and establishing body presence. And the German team just calculated that into account, and they abused every opening, every weakness they could find.
Yeah, completely different to the last time we saw the Cho'Gall comp coming in. They did run a Malthael with that, but otherwise it was the same comp, and that shouldn't make as much of a difference.
Absolutely. Bakery. The second time we saw the Hungarian team field the Cho'Gall, it backfired. It looked like the German team was way better prepared this time.
Absolutely. So the big thing about the Malthael is that it did not win top lane last time because Greymane is a complete counter to Malthael. Germany did not fall into that trap. They said, no, thank you. We're going to take Sonya instead. We're going to absolutely destroy that top lane. And that's where the XP advantage started, and they were able to snowball it.
Yeah, we saw something that doesn't really happen a lot in Dragonshire. The top lane was the first one to fall. The Bridge of Death was not an obstacle enough.
It was not an obstacle enough, and that was the first keep, not only just fought a keep, to fall in that game. And that was how the Dragonite was able to move on to the core. And like we said, the Cho'Gall, it was so scary. Every fight it took, it was devastating. But if you just avoid it and just, you know, win the video game in the meantime, then we saw Germany putting on a masterclass of how to play against a good Cho'Gall team there.
Yeah, Germany surprising everyone. And the first replay I have, actually, is about Germany surprising Rehgar in the mid lane. So Rehgar gets caught, and Fana's going down. How good play from the Cho'Gall here. Actually blocks the bomb, keeps Rehgar alive a bit longer. Now they want the Cho'Gall kill, but he doesn't really care. He's just not going to die. And now he kills Nunia, one of the first of 2 he did this game. And now there's absolutely no way to kill the big boy. Cho'Gall will not go down. He is just tanking 3 people right now. And he's so tanky, he can go back in and now stall the Dragon Knight again. So showing how scary that Cho'Gall was in a fight. But that was not the issue that Germany had to deal with.
What I really liked about this replay was that we could see how well Carsey and Dobos managed to switch trades on Cho'Gall, going for the Ogre skin when damage was coming in by Tracer. And the moment she was gone, they realized, hey, we can go full damage again and deal the killing blow.
Absolutely. So the next replay I have is actually a 17 versus 15 fight. It starts, so Nuni is running out. They chase in on Cho'Gall. They're so aggressive with it. They just one-shot him. Now the mosh pit comes out. It's a bit too late to save Tracer. It's actually put ETC in trouble. So they're going to continue chasing onto the ETC. And Cho'Gall, he's really aggressive. He, like, goes in. But look at Anna. So heal number 1 misses, okay? The grenade is used to kill ETC. Heal number 2 gets blocked by Vega. Now heal number 3 is so close, it's so close. Watch. It comes out now.
Oh. And it explains it. We were wondering where the healing was there.
The first one misses, the grenade misses, the second one's blocked by Vega, and then the third one is that close.
And that's one.
And if any one of them connects, then Cho'Gao lives, and that is Hungary putting themselves in a winning position potentially.
And we talked about this, Tetcher, not being able to complete your Sleeping Dark quest earlier on, so you get the double heal.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't have the quest, so Cho'Gao was to fall there, and that was quite unlucky, because maybe if they were able to win more fights, they could have got more control, but as it was, Germany, like 2-3 levels ahead at the end there in full control.
Do you think we can evaluate the German strength now, or do you think it was more of a wonky, events of coincidences that they won this series against the Hungarian team?
Well, the one thing I will say is that Hungary wasn't supposed to be the best team in this group.
Yeah.
And maybe Hungary today were much weaker than Hungary 2 days ago. But what we can say is that Germany is coming out, and they are a scary team to go up against.
Will it be enough for some of the bigger names throughout the tournament? What do you think?
I think it's enough to get them to the playoffs, and that's a long time away. We'll see how their practice goes over that time, but I'd be scared. I'd be looking at Germany as a real contender to make semi-finals.
Before we move on, any final thoughts, Tetcher, on this series?
I still have a lot of faith in Hungary for this group. They've put on a fantastic performance. And in the first game, we talked about it. It was basically theirs, but Germany, their game knowledge and their reactions to certain situations in the game should not be underestimated.
All right, so Team Germany going in with a clean 2-0, securing themselves a score of 2-0 overall, whereas Team Hungary goes for a 1-1 situation right now. But, ladies and gentlemen, we're not done for the day. We have one more best of 3 to go, and it is going to be an exciting one, especially for the two gentlemen next to me. It's going to be Team UK versus the Finnish boys from Scandinavia, and I have no idea how that's going to go. It's going to be a pretty even matchup, isn't it?
We can hope so, because
I hope it's an even matchup, because that's not what I'm thinking right now. So I'm hoping it is going to be even.
Yes, we are not. I like the fact that we are being very British and pessimistic. We're not saying, oh yeah, we think UK is going to do really well. We're hoping it's close.
Yeah.
All right. Is it going to be close, or is one of the teams going to go for a clean 2-0? You can only find out by staying tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Uplifted and empowered by the Titans, Alexstrasza is the aspect of life and queen of all dragons on Azeroth. More than any of her kind, Alexstrasza is fond of mortals and does everything in her power to protect them, even joining their fight against her fellow aspect, Deathwing. As she soars through the skies of the Nexus, Alexstrasza is determined to continue her charge of safeguarding life and shepherding its mortal champions. Alexstrasza is a ranged healer who shares her health with allies and can transform into a powerful dragon. Alexstrasza's trait, Dragon Queen, allows her to assume her true form as a giant red dragon for a short period of time. As a dragon, Alexstrasza has more health and reduces the duration of slows, roots, and stuns used against her. Most importantly, her basic abilities are empowered, and her basic attacks damage enemies and heal allies in an arc in front of her. Gift of Life is Alexstrasza's first healing ability. She sacrifices a portion of her current health to heal a target ally. The strength of the heal scales with the amount of health Alexstrasza sacrificed. While Dragon Queen is active, Gift of Life is replaced with Breath of Life, which has a shorter cooldown and does not require a sacrifice from her. Abundance provides Alexstrasza with a powerful AoE heal. When cast, she marks a target area. A few seconds later, all allied heroes within the area are healed for a percentage of their maximum health. While in dragon form, Abundance becomes Preservation, which greatly increases the ability's area and the amount it heals. Flame Buffet is Alexstrasza's last basic ability. She launches a firebolt that hits all enemies in its path and burns them for damage over time. If the enemy is already burning, Flame Buffet deals bonus damage, slows them, and refunds its mana cost. In Dragon form, Alexstrasza uses Wing Buffet instead. With a mighty flap of her wings, Alexstrasza damages, knocks back, and slows enemies in a wide targeted arc. Alexstrasza's first heroic ability is Lifebinder. When cast, she creates a link between herself and an allied hero. After a few seconds, both are set to the same percentage of their maximum health based on whoever currently has the higher percentage. Cleansing Flame gives Alexstrasza a versatile heroic option. She takes to the skies in dragon form for a short time and breathes fireballs onto the targeting cursor's position every few seconds. Each fireball damages enemies and heals allies in its impact zone. Alexstrasza cannot be targeted while she's in the air, and she can choose where she lands when the ability ends. Alexstrasza is the first healer in Heroes of the Storm to have percentage-based healing as part of her core kit, and she pairs extremely well with high-health frontline heroes like Sonya and Diablo. Alexstrasza also has an entire set of talents that are only active when she's above a certain percentage of her own maximum health. Keep in mind that Gift of Life requires Alexstrasza to sacrifice a percentage of her own health, and that Abundance restores a percentage of health to all allies it affects, including her. Alternate the use of these two abilities to keep her health high and provide your team with powerful healing. When fighting against Alexstrasza, keep chipping away at her health so that her heals become less effective. If you have a displacement or area denial ability, use it to keep Alexstrasza and her teammates out of her abundance and deny them its healing. As a dragon, Alexstrasza has incredible healing abilities and can knock back her enemies. Make the most of Dragon Queen on map objectives and other situations where a team fight is bound to happen. Whatever form she assumes, Alexstrasza is a powerful and selfless guardian of life. Manage your health pool to maximize your heals and keep your team alive.
Terra Marines are the toughest frag magnets in the galaxy. But when they're in trouble, guess who they call? Medic! Winning a battle is more than just shooting enemy soldiers. It's about saving your own. I protect every member of my squad with my life. Sometimes I think I'm the only thing holding them together. Who am I? I'm Lieutenant Morales. I'm your medic. I'm gonna need a lot of bandages.